it's Destiny back with another video, and you are watching the Decimania channel on YouTube. And today is Wednesday, which you know what that means. AEW Dynamite and the 4th episode of Wrestle World Wednesday. October 25th, 2023. Today we got a loaded one. I'm excited for this one. We got a lot to talk about here. A lot of CM Punk related stuff. Some TNA related stuff, a TV deal for the NWA, some possible opponents for Roman Reigns, and we'll just see where this goes. Lexis King, otherwise known as Brian Pillman Jr., made his NXT debut last night and impressed. He already feels like a big deal in WWE, but we'll see what happens with him, and I hope he does good. Now, let's talk about the NWA stuff first. But before we get into this podcast, it's going to be a while. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this video and other videos with people that like wrestling, if you would not mind, and encourage them to subscribe. I would very much appreciate it if you would recommend my channel. 17 subscribers away from 50 for the Christmas WWE DVD giveaway. I have a couple I want to get rid of. I haven't decided which one I want to get rid of first, but it's only if we hit 50 subscribers by December. So you got a little over a month to get that done. And feel free to comment on my videos if you would like. Just a couple of hours before AEW Dynamite, so we'll get into this. First story I wanted to talk about. The NWA is getting a syndicated TV deal with the CW network. Or the CW channel, something like that. Don't know too much about this deal other than it's going to be on syndicated television. This is interesting because I've watched a couple episodes of NWA on YouTube, the NWA Power show. It's fine. I mean, I liked it for what it was. It was fine. I didn't get that much invested into it because there's just freaking too much to freaking watch. Like, there's too much. I already covered TNA, WWE, and AEW on this channel. Well, I don't review Raw and SmackDown or AEW or anything, but there's 3 promotions right there. WWE, AEW, Impact. I mean, I would cover AEW more if I could watch it, but we'll see. We're working on that. We're working on that. But they're getting a syndicated deal, the NWA, run by Billy Corgan of the band Smashing Pumpkins. Go check them out if you haven't. They're okay. I've listened to a couple of their songs. Yeah, that Billy Corgan. The guy that was in TNA for a while, running things. I don't know. I try to forget that era. I mean, it was good for what it was. Like, he helped with the final deletion match between Matt and Jeff Hardy, which, if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Although, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. I don't have much to say about this, other than I'm glad they got the title off of freaking Tyrus and put it on EC3, which is funny because they were both in TNA, and they were business partners. Remember, EC3 had the bodyguard, and it was Tyrus, and all that stuff. I mean, I hope they find success. I'm not saying that I wish them bad or anything, but I'm not saying I don't want them to succeed. I just hope that they can grow their audience. We'll be talking about another company that could potentially grow their audience in a little bit. But, I mean, I've been trying to go back and watch the old NWA, like the original NWA, like with Sting and Ric Flair and all them. But they don't have all the episodes on Peacock. So I found this channel, and it's called For Wrestling Fans. If you're not subscribed to them yet, please subscribe. They upload classic NWA and WCW episodes, not like Nitro or anything, so that's on the network. I'm talking about pre-Nitro, like Eric Bischoff. Or maybe Bischoff was there, I don't know. Like mid-80s NWA, stuff like that. I wish they would put more of that on the network, but I digress. But no, I hope the NWA finds success with their new TV deal. That's good for them, but the problem is it's on syndicated. Hopefully maybe they can get a bigger audience to where they can make a bit more money and get on a bigger network. I'm hoping. It'd be kind of cool for them. The more companies that like this that can grow their audience, the better. It's just going to make wrestling better as a whole. Let's talk about some potential opponents for Roman Reigns. Look, I think a lot of us are getting to the point where we just want to see Roman drop that freaking belt. Supposed to be Cody this year, it didn't happen. We know LA Knight will be facing him at Crown Jewel. But what about Royal Rumble and Survivor Series? Survivor Series is coming up. Everybody's talking about Randy Orton maybe coming back then. Maybe have him come back and take on Roman for the title. AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. Or, Then you have Elimination Chamber as well. Does he defend it there, or is that just a number one contenders thing? We all just kind of want Roman to lose at this point. It sucks. I mean, yeah, Seth is doing his thing on Raw, and that's good, but we need a constant champion on SmackDown. And I'm going to talk about Crown Jewel when I do my predictions, but I might as well bring this up now. Logan Paul is taking on Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. If Logan Paul is going to be winning this belt, he needs to be on SmackDown more than Roman Reigns is right now. Because you cannot have two absentee champions on one brand. That's not good. There's a couple more people that Roman could face. AJ Styles, Sheamus, Randy, LA Knight. He's going to be facing at Crown Jewel. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go down. It's got to be Cody at this point. I mean, LA Knight's going to get his shot. There you go. There's his next three opponents right there. Do LA Knight at Crown Jewel. Do Randy Orton at Survivor Series. Or if you don't want to do that, do it at the Royal Rumble. And then have AJ face him at like Elimination Chamber or something. Then have Cody beat him. But the point is, when he's faced everybody on the roster, like, what do you do? I mean, I thought about maybe Nick Aldis facing him. Maybe there's a situation where the Bloodline take it too far and, because they don't like what Nick Aldis does or he makes a decision that they don't like, and they beat the crap out of him and put him on a commission. Or something like that, but then have Nick Aldis face him for the title, but, I don't know at this point. Your best bet's just to go with Orton and Styles until WrestleMania and LA Knight. There we go. Maybe we'll get Cody versus Nick Aldis again. Cody's a former NWA champion, isn't he? I don't know. I just don't want to repeat of last year or this year. Okay. Let's talk about CM Punk. Yes, CM Punk. For weeks, we've been hearing, he might be going to WWE, he might not be going to WWE. Well, we don't know. He could still go to WWE, but not this year. Impact has offered him a deal, or he has reached out to him at least. There's a possibility CM Punk could be going to TNA or Impact. Let me tell you something. If that were to happen, that would grow their audience a bit more, probably. I think you need Punk in those smaller promotions right now. I don't know. Potential matches: CM Punk versus Josh Alexander versus Motor City Machine Guns, Steve Macklin. People like that. I don't know. I don't know how long Bully Ray's gonna be there, but he ain't gonna pull any punches with Bully Ray. Bully ain't gonna put up with stuff like that. Punk's antics. I want him there. But I want him, with his head on straight, and then he is gonna... he seemed to have had a good relationship or a good conversation with a lot of people back there, because he was at the Impact tapings on Monday or Sunday or whatever it was. Maybe he goes there. Especially when we found out what we did on Bound for Glory. That starting on January 13th, 2024, Impact Wrestling will be reverting back to its old Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling name. They're bringing back TNA. I love that. I love that they're bringing back the initials. That's good. Let me tell you something. As someone who grew up watching TNA, and yes, it was during the Bischoff and Hogan era. Let me tell you something. As a kid, you don't think about the ins and outs of that company. You don't think, they're just trying to be WCW. When I was watching TNA from 2012 to 16? The 4 years that I watched it full time. Before I had to stop in 2017 because of school. I thought that was the coolest freaking thing ever. I unfortunately watched TNA at the end of, but looking back now, I realized that a lot of that stuff that happened, AJ leaving, Sting leaving, Mike Tenay not being the play-by-play guy anymore in 2014 or 2015, I just look back on it now and was like, man, why wasn't I watching this during the prime years? I mean, one, I was young and hadn't started watching wrestling yet. Number two, I didn't even know TNA existed in 2008. I found out TNA existed in 2010, right when Bischoff and Hogan and them took over. But you didn't think that back then. You didn't think, oh, they're just going to ruin the company. I just thought that this was something cool. It was two faces that I recognized. Not so much Eric Bischoff, but I knew who Hulk Hogan was. To a 10-year-old kid or 11-year-old kid, as I was, you don't think about, oh, they're going to ruin this company like they did other companies, or they're going to make TNA not what it was. And then I started getting older and started reading about stuff and people putting down TNA in those days. And mainly Bischoff and Hogan and Dixie, because Dixie apparently was the one that signed them. And I give Dixie a lot of crap, but I also have to give her credit for trying at least to, I don't know. We'll talk about Dixie in another video. I'll probably come up and do a video on Dixie one day, because there's some stuff that I could say about her that I don't know. I'll give you my overall thoughts on Dixie. I don't really know what they are at the moment. Because, yes, there's mistakes like that, but then there's also things like, her character on television was great. But backstage, I'm not sure what that was. Releasing Don West and signing Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, But TNA is going back to its original name. And maybe CM Punk going there, maybe possibly Will Ospreay going back there, because he liked working there. Maybe that'll give TNA what it needs. And that's a bigger audience, because they said they wanted to get into bigger venues and stuff like that. But you've also got to produce your product in a way that's going to make people want to come and see it. I mean, right now what they're doing is fine. But how do you appeal? How do you get those old fans back? Maybe it'll bring old fans back. Maybe it'll get new fans that have never even heard of TNA to watch it. Stuff like that. Maybe if you're just a fan of CM Punk and you want to see CM Punk, maybe you don't even know what TNA is. They could get people like that. But CM Punk was in TNA at one point or another. He was in TNA in 2003, something like that. He had some little faction, I think it was like The Gathering or something with Raven and a couple other people and Mickey James, I don't remember exactly. But maybe you could do that. Apparently they're getting new belts. There is no plans to revert back to the 6-sided ring so far. Let me tell you something. The 6-sided ring, I have mixed feelings on this. I can see it from both sides. The TNA hardcore fans, the diehard TNA fans are going to be like, oh, well, they need to bring back the 6-sided ring because that's what made TNA what it was. Okay, but so did the X Division, so did the Ultimate X match, the cutting-edge, high-flying style of AJ and Sabin and Daniels and all them. But, I've heard AJ Styles has even said that he hated the 6-sided ring. I don't know if he hated it, but he liked working in the 4-sided ring better. And Sting said the same thing. Now, I would like to maybe see them bring it back for one night only. Like, if they're going to do, like, a TNA reunion show, maybe then bring it back. But if you're going to... I don't think TNA needs to bring back the 6-sided ring. Unless it's for, like, a one-night event. Do, like, your TNA one-night stand pay-per-view, almost. Bring it back for that. But, I mean, if it hurts them that much, then don't bring it back. If they like working in the 4-sided ring better, don't bother bringing it back. Maybe they could do like a TNA special one night and get as many guys as they can to... They need to do something to reintroduce fans to TNA, I think. Maybe a TNA one-night stand, or maybe do, like... Maybe just do a special episode of Impact showing, like, old TNA matches, or, like, interviews with some of the old TNA guys, AJ. You're probably not going to be able to get AJ in this. And this is what sucks about this. AJ should have been in their Hall of Fame years ago. When did this thing come out? 2012? Yeah. I mean, no offense to Sting or anything, but AJ should have been the first one in there. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, I love Sting. Don't get me wrong. I love Sting, but if you're going to put someone in the TNA Hall of Fame, why not AJ or Bobby Roode or James Storm? There's someone to get, James Storm. Maybe Bobby Roode. There's a couple guys in TNA right now that need to be on those shows. A couple guys in AEW. Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe are in AEW. AJ's in WWE. Abyss and Bobby Roode are working backstage for WWE. It wouldn't hurt Triple H to let them go, or Tony Khan, for that matter, to let those guys go over there. Even Christian Cage. Throw him in there. To go over there for like one night, or to do a reunion show or whatever, and say, hey, newer fans, this is what we were all about back in the day. Show old TNA matches. Just show, But they are bringing back new belts. They've got the new belts made, apparently. So, I mean, I've been calling it TNA forever. I never stopped calling it TNA. But, like, I always get the sense that people are going to be like, you need to call it Impact now. It's not TNA. Like, I've always called it TNA, and now can officially go back to calling it TNA because they're going to be going back to that name in, like, January. So that's fun. This is the biggest story that I was going to talk about today, because as someone who grew up watching TNA during the tail end of, the good days, the AJ and Kurt and stuff like that. Kurt was in TNA longer than he was WWE. You know what? Bully Ray has been too. Bully was in TNA longer than he was WWE. Let's see, because he was there from 2005 to 2015. And then he came back in 2022. Tommy Dreamer, too. Tommy Dreamer's been in TNA more than WWE and ECW. ECW only lasted about 7 or 8 years. Tommy's been there since 2010. Tommy's on screen sometimes, and they don't overexpose him, so I don't know what the freaking tribalists are going on about. They're not overexposing him. They're just bringing him back to have a couple feuds, and then he'll probably go back to doing what he does backstage and on Busted Open Radio and stuff like that. He even said as much. Look, I get it. I should probably step out of the spotlight, but I love to do this. You can't fault someone for loving to do it, what they do. Tommy's not taking spot from anybody. He's not, and he's probably going to put over Crazy Steve in that match. When it eventually does happen. He's probably going to put him over, and he's probably going to drop the digital media title to him. I don't know. Maybe I kind of hope he doesn't lose it in his first defense, but then again, I don't know. Tommy's not been one to have long title reigns. But, it's a good way to let him have something for, doing what he does backstage for them. They brought back the TNA title also when Moose had that little run with it in 2020, whenever. Didn't Tommy face him for that or something at Slammiversary in 2020? The worst freaking year to be a wrestling fan. Maybe not the worst year, but it was just the worst year in general. It just sucked. But no, I'm glad they're bringing it back. Maybe they'll bring back the TV title. I don't know. Maybe they'll change the Digital Media Championship name to television title. Maybe they'll bring that back. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But if they want to grow their audience, they're going to have to appeal to more fans also. And up their game a little bit. Up their production. Maybe because Bound for Glory was sold out. They need to get people in bigger arenas and bigger buildings, stuff like that. They need to stack their cards with matches and put on a high-profile show, which is what they've done for a while. I've been watching TNA full-time again for 4 months. I just started earlier this year. Started with Alex Shelley winning the title. Very good against all odds pay-per-view. But maybe I think they already do this. They have that Impact Plus thing that's almost like a TNA network or something. I don't know. I wish they would play more of those episodes and put those on streaming service or something. Hang on, let me let Tessa back in. Come on, Tess. But, yeah, I'm glad they're bringing it back. They're going to have to do a lot to regrow their audience to what it kind of was. Because they're not going to be the same as they were. But I think if they grow their audience a bit more and do, stuff like that, I think maybe TNA could be maybe not a third competitor, but another alternative. Kind of what they were back in the day. Maybe if they can get that kind of audience back, at least. But, go on the road and stuff. The Impact Zone was almost like TNA's ECW arena back in the day. And then they started going on the road like ECW did. And then Bischoff and Hogan came in and screwed it up and stuff like that. But no, I'm glad they're bringing it back. I'm excited to see what this looks like, and I'm excited to see what they do going forward. They're apparently changing the logo. I think they're putting a new ramp in down to the ring. And they're going to be getting new belts for the people. So, that'll be good. Yeah. Wonder if like all the belts are gonna change hands at Hard to Kill, or are they just gonna give everybody new belts and like, I don't know how it's gonna go down. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, maybe they'll get someone like CM Punk. Maybe they'll get someone like Will Ospreay. Maybe, maybe they could get a couple guys to sign new contracts. Maybe James Storm re-signs with them, or maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say Bobby Roode, but I don't know Bobby Roode's status. I think he's producing matches. I don't know if he's still hurt, or if they're just having him do that now. Like, because I hope that's not the end of his ring career, because Bobby doesn't need to go out like that. Bobby's freaking great. It's almost weird. I would almost like to see AJ kind of come back to TNA and like retire there. It would just kind of seem weird if he retired in WWE. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. That might not be for a while yet. So, alright, that's probably going to be it for this episode of Wrestle World Wednesday. This is episode 4. Hope you guys enjoy it. And once again, please give me a subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, share the video, comment down below, do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.